We got our thoughts on M. Bison this week. Guilty Gear Dual Rulers trailer dropped. Marvel might be plotting something big at EVO, and the Esports World Cup has started. This is Double Tap. This is a podcast dedicated to anything and everything in the fighting game community. I'm, of course, your host, or at least one of your hosts for this week's episode. I'm Crash. Of course, with me, I've got Static G.
Hello.
Back, see, I introduced you the second time this time, right? We're back to the norm.
Yes, I'm not just an assist.
No, you're not. You're definitely the main character.
Okay.
And then we've got the voice of reason, of course, on the show. We've got John in the building.
What's going on? I just appreciate the thickness of the sarcasm. The thickness of it is just tasty.
That way you can feel it. You can hear. The main thing you do is that you can hear the sarcasm.
That's important. This is a podcast.
This is a podcast first and foremost. We've got a lot of things to get into. We've got plenty of topics. So we're gonna be jumping right into it. Off the rip though, we're just gonna go right into M. Bison, Street Fighter 6. Let's talk. He's been out now. He's been cooking. I know even last week he was already out, and we haven't really had a chance to. We didn't really talk about him then. But I think now with like a little bit of time has spread, especially with CEO also passing, because like unlike Combo Breaker where they allowed Akuma, M. Bison was not allowed at CEO, so we weren't able to kind of see some like really early games or any kind of like cool pool picks or something like that for him. But we're gonna break down kind of like what we like, what we don't like about the character, and how he's faring. And we got a question for you guys at the end of it. Off the rip, man. I don't know, Statty. You want to kick this off? Or you want me to just start?
I've been playing him. I'm up to Diamond 2.
Okay.
Uncomfortable Diamond 2 because every match is either 2-1 or 0-2, and not in my favorite. Well, not saying that I'm losing, but if I win, it's like 2-1. It's never a clean sweep. But
it's never a 2-0 on your side. Damn.
Yeah, unfortunately.
This guy's just so unappreciative today. He's not appreciative for his wins. He wasn't appreciative for being in the second spot. In the first spot, on the call out. He's just unappreciative today.
I just don't wanna like fluff myself. I wanna be honest and humble.
We don't want to see you fluff yourself either.
But all right, so by what are you feeling M. Bison? What do you like about him so far?
So
what are you digging about M. Bison?
What am I liking? His pressure. He obviously has pressure that he didn't have in the last game. In the last game, people were saying, "Oh, he has pressure, but he doesn't have an overhead." He's lacking in that because he was easy to attack, and then he had a command grab. So that was the cool thing. Like he almost needed that command grab, or even the cross ups. But still, even a cross up is easier to block than maybe a sneaky low or a sneaky overhead. So in this game, he has.
So the overhead is the big ticket for you. I can see you doing a lot of drive rush overheading.
Yeah,
I can see you doing
but then you can even sneak it in there with the stand medium punch into the overhead target combo, because granted it isn't a combo outside of drive rush, so you do have to incorporate it in with drive rush if you want it to combo, but it's still a sneaky overhead nonetheless. It's sort of like Guiles if you want to count the crouch medium kick overhead thing. EX Psycho is a very good tool. It goes through most or all projectiles. Just nullifies, and also you can confirm level 3 into it. And that's full screen, by the way. And it's safe on block. So that move is ridiculous. I don't think it gets enough shine.
And some good anti-air properties too, because of you could just, because it's just a big hitbox, right? Like,
it's very
just like you just land on it.
It's EX Sumo headbutt, basically.
Just way more horizontal.
Yeah,
that's about it.
However, so anti-air department, not so much. Obviously, jumping medium punch is good. Crouch fierce is good. Crouch fierce is actually sneakily good because if they're coming in with a button and you get a counter hit, you can juggle into the bomb move. Of course, I'll go back heavy. So I'd say do that if you can see that it's a counter hit, because if you don't, I mean, you're moving at least close to them with that move, but still, it's a little wonky. So I still want to keep with the positives. Scissor kick is almost too good. Like on hit, I believe it's +3, and on block it is -5 depending on the hit, depending on which one you're doing.
Low and medium are -5, while heavy is -4. Which even then, the spacing, like having a it's one of those. Once again, we've talked about this. Is like when a move is like negative on paper, but really not punishable. We mean like, yes, -5, you should be able to hit right with the light. but due to the distance that it usually puts him specifically, like there aren't lights that reach that far.
Not many, right?
That can actually punish him. So like a good Bison player will kind of get you at the tippy toes of it, and it's like, yeah, I'm -5, but I'm -5 like way over here.
Yeah.
By the time you actually start, like even if you did jab, like you're not hitting.
Or even if they predict your startup of it. So
yeah.
And again, it is 2 hits. You can drive impact it if you see it coming. But at the same time, if he's already recovered, you're eating a drive impact yourself. So
and EX scissor kicks, like it's just not reactable. Like I don't care who you are, like bro, you are not.
Oh, if you're blocking, you win. Like that thing is negative, like something.
But it's really it is negative on it. But I'm saying like it's really tough to react to it. Like if you want to like DI it or something, like you have to really commit, and that's if you see it, and it's so fast though too, right? So yeah,
I'm watching somebody use them now. So like So back heavy kick is another tool that's really good on pressure, like drive rush, and also just it is +1 on block, and then also it does go into like crouch jab as well on combo. So like there are uses. Stomp doesn't get talked about enough because it is hard to actually do, because when you activate it, it doesn't like it used to go. You used to stomp home in on a person. But in this game, you're not homing in. You kind of have to reach.
You can pick the arc a bit more. Yeah.
And push the button when you want to stomp down. So it's easier.
So you can kind of feint a little bit.
Yeah, it's much more easy. How do I say that? It's easier to perform in the corner because there's nowhere else to go. But then even so, if you do manage to hit them and they block it, you are still able to cross up with the reverse afterwards. So I use Devil's Reverse a lot, and then I use Stomp Reverse even to like switch it up on the opponents too. Again, because a lot of those special moves are plus. And then with the bomb involved, it's even more plus.
Yeah.
So
we haven't gotten to the main mechanic.
Psycho Crusher becomes +6 on block if you have the bomb on them. So like there are just tools all over the place. However, if I can finally get to I want to go to the bombs. I want to go to the bombs. Are you talking about the bombs, or you want to go to the negatives?
Before we hit the bombs, let me get you just a couple of things. I have my list of goods as well, of positives here, and the ones that you didn't get to say that I'm surprised. Off the rip, the damage.
Oh well, yeah, that comes with the territory.
This fucking guy just bleeds your health, like from so many ranges. It's kind of gross. Like I'm surprised at certain times where I actually just cash out and I'm like, this ain't gonna kill. Boom. And it does. I'm like, I hit the lean back. I hit the like if someone was next to me, I'd look at him like, yo, you see that? Like just to get a confirmation. So his damage output is wild. His drive gauge speed is also just, I thought DJ was gonna, be my nightmare. No, like Bison is kind of creating that kind of taking the crown for that one. Buttons though, also just regular buttons. We're talking just regular buttons, like standing medium kick, right? Like it's just a gross poking tool. You've got slide as well, which is like, it's fun. The classic, Bison slide and all. The other buttons that you already kind of talked about earlier is air to airs are all good. But he's almost a threat anywhere on the screen. That's the thing. Like he is an anti-zoning god, right? Shadow Rise, Psycho Crusher EX, even his like level 2 super, right? Like if you have a fireball, he wants to fight you, because like if you even at full screen when you think you're safe, bro, like you literally cannot throw plasma, or else you will get punished in like 3 different ways right off the rip. And not for like little damage. Like this, all of that like hurts. Because even if you like say you cash out, like you said with EX Psycho Crusher, and you got level 3, that's a full screen level 3 confirmed. Yep. Which I'm like, bro, that's gnarly. And
he wins some trades too. So like, And you did mention the drive rush. I mean, drive rush is pretty fast, but like he can just fake it and just stop, and you're like reacting, and then it'll punish you really hard.
the classic drive rush with the jab button to then drive impact,
or even stand fierce being like a good whiff punishing tool. It's 19 or so frames, but you can do it moving back, and it moves up, and it's plus. So.
The chop. What was it? The psycho axe or whatever it was called. Like that.
Something
shit.
Like that. Yeah.
Forward moving. Really good button. Like it's a neutral button. Like
and so much juggle potential out of normals as well. So like if you want to like learn what some of the stuff does, I think the trial combos are pretty good for learning what things can happen. The bomb, I haven't found any creative ways to sort of use the bomb, like other than maybe baiting something and then getting a Psycho Crusher out, or even because only on Psycho Crusher, Devil's Reverse, and the bomb again, those are the only moves that sort of get enhanced by the bomb. And then the EX Psycho Crusher is where a lot of that damage comes in. If you still have it on them, so it's very interesting.
I didn't realize, like, because when I first saw the bomb, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be like so disgusting. His setups, it kind of flew over my head that he is missing a key component to kind of messing with that or making something like that happen is like his teleports.
Yep.
Right. Like he doesn't have those in this game. So it's like, oh, because I was thinking of Street Fighter 5, right? Like his dash now becomes a teleport and he can do some really crazy stuff. I was under the assumption that was gonna be it, and it really clicked. Like as I was playing, I was like, oh shit, it's not here. Nope. So the bomb is a little more straightforward as of now. There could be some tech there that we don't know. Someone's gonna pull out at Evo, because Evo will be the first event that Bison will be like allowed in such a high capacity, right, at such a high level, because like I said, we wasn't allowed in CEO, so we just have to wait for Evo for that to happen. So there could be some tech out there, maybe on some knockdown with Psycho Bomb into some weird, Shadow Rise left, right, like, oh, which side am I? And then you guess, and it's like you guess wrong and you get cashed out. Like, I'm waiting for that. Once we see that actually happen, viable in match, then we know. Then we'll know where the gameplay is going.
Granted, I think everybody's had some experience against him because he's all you find in ranked.
Yeah,
that's literally all I see.
Is that one of the bads? Let's go with the bads. You only see him in ranked like crazy.
Yeah, him and Akuma. It's been literally him and Akuma. So want to go into bads? Oh man, this guy has no
what are the
wake
negatives?
Up. Like,
yes, thank you. No reversals at all.
Even Diaphone talked about his like reversal being slow, like his super is slow. So like you have to like preemptively, or even see somebody whiffing a button, like, I want to just do the
hardcore. That isn't a jab. Yeah.
So the jab's pretty good. I mean, it's 4 frames. Everybody has a 4 framer. I think. No, Marissa has 5.
Marissa has 5.
Yeah. So like, it's stand jab. It goes far, but it's still not.
I was watching Shen play. Light Shadows Rise is like kind of solid. Because you can kind of get out. It's not like the best. It's not great, but the stomp. Shadow Rise is like the actual stomp. So like that's like one option, but it's like not the best. But he still doesn't have any kind of wake ups outside of drive reversal, wake up, drive reversal, late teching, and extremely slow supers. Maybe EX Psycho Crusher if you get lucky. Like that's about it. Like you knock him down, it's tough.
His main button being 8 frames, the stand medium punch, it's not terrible, but because so many buttons can go into it. So if you're already committing to it, but then it's like, again, these buttons are good after they hit. So you've got to just already have some sort of way to be in to actually use what you're going to use. Other than that, like his level 2 is good. It's like invul, so that's good. But like again, if they're doing it on wake up and they have enough time to recover, they're probably gonna parry it. They don't have to block it left, right. His super is good. It goes through a little bit of fireballs. It just doesn't have too much reach. So like if somebody's gonna point blank fireball you, use it. Sure.
They fucking deserve it.
Yep. Exactly.
At that point.
Exactly.
They can't get mad.
Let me see. Horse is great. Sorry, no. I forget his name. Is cool. I don't know he has a name.
He does have a name. I can't remember either.
Yeah, my friend told me yesterday and I forgot it already. But other than that, like, dare I say, I was playing somebody yesterday, and once I activated the bomb on him, like, he started parrying, and I was like, man, I mean, I could grab him, but he might tech. But then I'm going to lose the bomb, so I don't want to lose the bomb. So then, I'm not saying that perfect parry or just parrying beats him, because obviously you can grab all day. He does have sort of a grab loop with forward grab in the corner. But then he sort of does get predictable at a certain point.
The irony.
Yeah, so he kind of I know, right? He comes back every tournament, right? Wait, what do you mean irony? Are you saying unpredictable, sir?
No, I was thinking predictable, but I was like, oh no, that's Geese. I'm an idiot. Okay. That's the wrong character.
But besides that, like, I don't think he's top 5. I wouldn't say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that leads to the question, really. Yeah. So that's actually, it was going to be kind of what my lead up is to you guys, to the listeners, what you guys are thinking about Bison right now. If you picked them up. But really the question is, do you think Bison is a top tier? Because I am hearing, from early, this is once again early. Evo's going to be the first kind of mark to see where he's going to stand. But a lot of discussions from pro players or those that have had impressions on him, a lot of DJ players are rumored to be like jumping ship to him because he kind of does what DJ does, just better. Except obviously no projectile. There's some changes there, but the mind helps kind of curate those gaps. Right, you could call it that if you want, get technical with it. But yeah, so we want to hear from you guys. Do you think Bison is a top tier? We're talking like S, we'll give him A rank, A to S versus B and below. We're going to be posting up a poll on our Twitter, on social media, as well as on Discord, YouTube's, all that good stuff. We want to hear from you guys if you are playing them, or if you just have played against them enough on ranked. If it isn't an Akuma and it's him, if you think he's a top tier character, make sure to let us know.
And I forgot to mention that stand medium punch it's a main tool because it does go into the low as well, low target combo.
So it does. Yeah.
So he has a low target combo, high target combo off of one button. So like if it's anyway. If you know, and if you don't know, you got hit.
Yep, exactly. All right, so with that, we're gonna be taking a quick break, guys. When we come back, we're gonna be talking some Guilty Gear because we have a new that Anime Expo trailer dropped for dual rulers. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, so we just got done talking some Bison, some Dictator impressions, but now let's move on to Anime Expo. Guilty Gear, Strive, specifically. Dual rulers. We were talking about the kind of the lead up to the actual trailer that they were going to drop, which did happen on the 4th. And we got to actually take a look at the actual trailer itself. And some information has also come out on it. So dual rulers is clearly centered around Soul and Sin. And this new character, already forgot her name because I'm not gonna lie, the design kind of like, she hasn't really stuck out to me yet, but only because there's like not a lot of information really. But what is her name? Unica with a K. I guess they're trying to, some MK love right there. But anyway, yeah, Dual Riders. We got the trailer. It was only a quick minute. It wasn't a whole lot, but the funny thing about watching the trailer is that, of course, it's taking place during the Strive timeline, because this is like post Soul giving up his gearness at the end of Strive, like when he fought Ino and such. So this is clearly happening after that, which is gonna be fun because he's supposed to be like a depowered human, but he still like looks extremely roided up.
I mean, he was a scientist before that.
He was, but bro, he was also like a fucking linebacker. Like, his stature was insane, even by the end of the game.
His stature in the first game was tiny. Then his frame just kept getting bigger and bigger.
I know.
And everybody Axel gets smaller and smaller.
Everybody hit the gym by Strive, all right? Yeah. Like, everybody got buff. Like, Sin was also just a fucking, you look at him from Exert to now, and you'd be like, that's not the same character. No.
Or Chip.
Especially Chip. Literal drug addict, literal crackhead. I'm not making this up. The guy was a drug addict, became a ninja, and now he's just like, and president of a country, and now he's just like, looks the way he looks. Anyway, back to the trailer. I don't know about you, man, but watching the trailer, all I can think about was just like we know the studio's doing an amazing job. We know that the studio has already done a really cool job with the music video that we talked about before.
Yes.
But like looking at how this is presenting wise, it just looks like the game. But that's like more credit to the game, because the game looks dope still.
It reminded me of Castlevania on Netflix.
Oh yeah, okay, I can see that too. I don't know, man. The game just like, I couldn't differentiate it. It's that, it's that fucking ArcSys love that like they do such a great job rendering these characters in this format that like you forget that it's just in game and it's not like an actual like an actual animated show, which this is with a much bigger budget. But yeah, so the trailer just we got some cool action, we got a little bit of information on the characters, we had some subsequent tweets that have gone out with some information, especially on Unica, about being this character that is just trying to eradicate gears. Go figure. And with Sin being probably the one thing that she probably would hate the most, considering she's like a unification of like humans and gear, right? With Kai and Dizzy, which by the way, their wedding is supposed to be happening here, because that's like where Sin was going to go. So we're gonna see Dizzy potentially, which is awesome. I don't think we have seen Dizzy in any capacity in Strive, like at all. Not even as a background character, nothing. Right. I don't believe we've seen Dizzy anywhere.
And no mention really from Testament that I know of. I haven't played Arcade, nor have I played the second story mode. So from my knowledge, I mean, I haven't heard anything, but it's definitely looking like it's leading the way for new DLC. I like exactly. Unica looks like she's gonna be pretty cool with that gun of hers. And like, and you said in the design, yeah, I like the design. I think it's a cool new character. Kind of looks like Elfelt though, in my honest opinion. But hey, who's talking, right?
I think in terms of Guilty Gear, it's a little. There's not enough belts, so it's like throwing me off. There needs to be like 18. Needs to be 18 different belts before I can consider her a Guilty Gear character. I'm sure Sin can, not Sin, Zato can provide a couple. But no, the cool thing is about it's her weapon too, man. People calling out that her weapon could be an outrage piece, like the outrage being these mythical weapons that Soul was going after. I can't actually remember 100% if Soul either was going after or he created, because he built certain parts of it to create what he has. Like if you look at his weapon, he added to it because he has like bridges like Yo-Yo and stuff was like a component to it. But there's like mythical ones, I believe, and I think like Anji's fans are one of them as well. Kai's lightning sword was another. Yeah, there's just several different ones, and I think maybe this could be a potential one as well. But yeah, there's already a lot of speculation on just from like the short tidbit that we got. But it looks good. I'm interested in seeing where the story's gonna go. The part I was gonna actually bring up was what you were saying, like, this is gonna be a 2025 release. We know season 4 is already, in the works. Maybe we might hear something at Evo about it. But depending on how they're gonna position this with new character and already some confirmed characters showing up, or at least being in the show, could lead the way where they're gonna help market a potential either end of season 4 or potential season 5 DLC with it. Would make a lot of sense, to be honest.
Yeah. I agree, because they did get those. It's almost like they waited to get the characters that people wanted out of the way
before kind of putting some new.
Exactly, in those backyards, and now they're doing this and then putting more story. And they're like, you know what? Let's not put a new story mode because we're kind of bad at it. Let's put in this anime and let people watch it if they want to, rather than
gotcha.
Oh my gosh, I still don't want to look forward to watching that second story, because the first story was just like stickers moving across the screen. Like that chip and Anji scene was just. I saw it on like a Hertz TV, so I don't know if it was the TV or if it was the game. So
no, trust. Yeah. There were things in it that still hurt me to this day.
Okay.
Yeah. Just don't look up Jacko jumping into the motorcycle. That's I'll have to timestamp that for you, and you'd be like, my eyes. That one still lives in my fucking head. But yeah, so the trailer looks good. There was no other news really in terms of like when we might get something new. So I guess it's still pretty early. Hopefully we'll get some news relatively soon when it comes to this. But hey, we still got Evo. Hopefully we'll hear something there. Yeah, so next to that we have some characters actually coming out for multiple games. This is actually kind of a bit of a condensed list here, but for today, for one, Agent Smith out now. Multiversus. Not only did Agent Smith come out today, but also came out with a cinematic that's getting people to lead to potentially having some Neo maybe announcement, possibly. Not really 100% sure because we know that the first season of Multiversus is all about villains. And like in this cinematic, like Agent Smith is fighting Bugs Bunny. Didn't think I would say that at any point in my life. And he says like, oh, you think I came here alone? Kind of like how the Joker did in the Joker's trailer, or rather in the new trailer when the relaunch happened, and then you had like Jason show up and Agent Smith, kind of echoing that a little bit. So people are already quick to speculate. But the cinematic was dope. A lot of callbacks to the Matrix, obviously, and especially in his gameplay. I've been watching. I haven't had a chance to play him yet, but his gameplay is pretty dope. A lot of callouts. He looks fun. The patch that came out with him isn't anything too crazy. There wasn't like a big balancing to it. It was more fixing a lot of bugs, especially Jason. Jason got pulled. Iron Giant got pulled and brought back. Jason also got pulled and brought back. They're clearly just fixing a lot of the leaky boat situations that are going on here with characters. Nothing in terms of all the feedback that Player First has gotten from the community in like the netcode and a couple other things, though some reports are stating that the netcode is better. Like Void was playing and was kind of stating that the matches are a little better than they were before, but there was nothing officially listed in the patch notes, so it could be a shadow patch of some kind. We're not sure, but we're gonna have to wait for them to actually give us something official. But in the meantime, though, you got some Agent Smith, you got some Riff content to play, and a new character to potentially unlock. So
they could have also done something to the back end like that. That's what I would imagine. They made some back end fixes.
That's what I'm assuming too, because they won't always post that up. Like stuff like that kind of just goes under the radar because maybe they just not deem it like putting attention to it in the patch notes. But at the same time, I feel like at this point, not at this point, but I feel like, in the current situation of Multiversus, like, yo, we are doing shit. Here's all the proof that we're doing shit, right? Like I would list that shit everywhere like a goddamn resume. I'm citing my source like a fucking essay. This is what we did. Here it is. So that way people know versus like kind of trying to see whether or not it's like a placebo effect. Like, are the matches better? It's like, I don't know. Is it me thinking it's better or did they actually do something, right? Like, I don't see where, there's no benefit in actually telling people like, yeah, we did some shit. But hey, they're the developers. I'm just a consumer. It is what it is. Speaking of consuming, like I said, we got some other characters that we're also dropping. Let's go with Eunice first, because the next game we'll start the combo. So Eunice, we did have a trailer that did drop as well, just recently. This is for the character Uzuki. I believe we did see her right beforehand. I think we only saw her like profile or her artwork at some point. It's not really a surprise here, but
she looks like the girl from Persona 5, the Pyramid Temple girl from P5.
Oh, Futaba.
Thank you.
Futaba. Yeah. Just because she has glasses, long hair, and is awkward. Nice.
Sure, probably.
But yeah, her entire style is really, really dope. Her face just kind of like is creepy the entire way. It's like that. I don't want to like try to remember the actual creepypasta behind it, but she's got some Quan Chi in her as well, because there's a lot of bones, a lot of skeletons she's throwing out, coffins all over the place. Yeah, she's a Eunice character. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Looks dope. Feels cool. There's the super at the end was kind of a little crazy cinematic, the sacrificial stuff going on there. But big limbs is what I have to say for the character. That is not what I was expecting.
You know what I find weird about the newer characters, because obviously Eunice has been out a long time. Like the first game's been out since maybe Evo 2014, around that time. There was showcased at least, and you're adding characters. This is sort of how like Answer and Baiken were at the end of Guilty Gear Xrd, where like they were a bit more graphically better, and I wonder how that is, or how they can conform that to a new game, because obviously the main boss of the game, he's pretty cool looking too, and I just don't know how those work in these games.
Yeah, I mean, like, sometimes they get a little bit more leniency later to like do some cool shit, like because now they're like, hey, listen, we did, I got the baseline. Yeah, this character, do whatever you want.
Right, because she looks like she can do a lot. She causes, I mean, It's like she has maze dolphins, but they're skeletons. Like,
yeah, I can see that.
Like,
yeah, she's got some wild relaunches. Her
Right.
supers are kind of over the top. I think she's got some really interesting tools.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten anything past the trailer, but we do get a chance to actually play her at Evo. So at the end of the trailer, they did get an announcement that, hey, a trial available in Evo. So I'm assuming they're just gonna have a specific build available for people to actually go ahead and enjoy before we get an actual date for her, because I don't think we have a date at this point. So but yeah, Uzuki looks dope. Once again, not the only kind of news we got or game coming out swinging. We've got some Hunter, and not just one, but there was like multiple characters that were shown off over the past like week. Like CEO did have 2 characters, and there was one recently from Anime Expo that did drop.
Correct.
So we've got Machi, we've got Uvoken, who basically looks like Wolverine if he was regular size, and then we got
Broly looking
Crollo. I don't know, man. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Oh, he looks like he plays like Broly.
Yeah. So this is I am not an expert on Hunter x Hunter at all.
Never mind.
I have
did
watched
show it
enough
to my
clips.
friend, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool. I know that character," and that was it.
I know some key moments of it. I remember the older version of it. I know there's like a newer version of this anime going on right now. Yeah, it's actually pretty long running. It's been around for quite some time. But yeah, Nen Impact being the aiding tag game, known for being, Marvel and DNF Duel, kind of the 2 notable games there. This already had like a demo previously played. Some people have gotten a chance to play. There's more gameplay out there. It's early. It's early in development. I want to preface this. This is early. The trailers are saying it. This is game in development. But I don't know what it is. The game, like, no knock on anyone who's gonna enjoy it and who's a fan of the anime and is going to play it, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it right now. It might be because I'm not like too tuned in with the actual anime itself, or maybe it's just the state of the game at this point. It's just like a little too unpolished for me. That I'm kind of like,
I can't put my finger on it, man. What it is. I'm trying to figure out what it is that is jarring.
Because listen, I'm pretty sure everyone here is for like more games. Like, I don't think anyone here is gonna be like, this is just too many games. Like, nah, fuck that. Like, more games, dope. Fine with it. But like, I don't know. When it just doesn't catch me, it just don't catch.
I wouldn't call it unpolished. It's just unseasoned, right? Like, it's just like there's no flair. That's what it really. Honestly, that's what I feel like. It feels like there's no flair. I didn't really. Maybe I missed it. I didn't notice any like effects or anything like that during the attacks. It just felt really bland. That's all. So I almost feel like maybe they released this a little too early, because like, it felt very bland, almost indie-ish. Almost like, almost indie-ish, but like I kind of feel like maybe this is just an early look, and maybe they just released this a little bit too early,
Yeah, maybe even like, we talk about things like, camera work or like impacts of like moves in impacts of moves in games. Like they tend to kind of grip you. Like Tekken is like an incredible game to watch, right? Like, even as a spectator, you don't have to know what's going on, but like you feel that shit when someone gets counter hit. You feel it, like the screen shaking, all that. Like once again, Marvel, right? That is an aiding game, like they developed that shit. Like I think the camera work there is great. Like when you did a super move, it was dynamic and it was very comic book like, right? Very dynamic, very all over the place, and it kind of gripped you. Here, I'm seeing awesome super moves, and I'm like, I'm just not. I don't know if it's the plain background convinced. That I'm seeing. I'm not feeling it, dog. I'm not feeling it. But this game might be fire. Will probably be fire to a degree, which is awesome. But it's just like the pitch right now, the elevator pitch, not working. I'm getting, for those that know this, I'm getting like Yu Yu Hakusho fucking the Dark Tournament PS2 vibes. For those that know what the fuck that game is, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it looks good. And I don't want to knock the graphics. This kind of looks like it, but like everything else about it was just like, eh.
It reminds
like that's it.
It feels very PS2-ish. And again, you can dare say PS3 because it looks like Marvel 3. And that's the thing, like Marvel 3. No. It's the same. So the intros to the fights of Marvel 3 is the same camera work, the same exact thing.
Yeah.
However, Marvel 3 also didn't have characters emoting as much either. But this game does. But then there's sort of like the comic book feel to that, which you can add to Marvel to make it look that way. I've never watched an episode of Hunter x Hunter. Sorry, don't know. But I'm pretty sure that these characters might emote more. And for it being an anime game, I mean, Dragon Ball FighterZ had a lot of emotion on each character. I mean, those characters all had, like, it was...
Granted, they're mostly screaming.
Yeah, but
most of the time.
But you could sort of like emulate everything from the show pretty much. Like, this doesn't look like it's even drawn in. I don't know. I don't want to say drawn in, but like...
Well, that's why I was saying I feel like it's just early because, like, those are details. You know, those are details. Like, I feel like what we're seeing is them focusing on making it a good fighting game. You know, because we're not complaining about the mechanics that we saw.
No,
I think the book guy looks really cool, Crollo.
Yeah, like, we're not complaining about the mechanics that we saw. It's just that it looks kind of bland in a Street Fighter 6, 2XKO, Tekken world. You know.
Yeah,
I'll mention MK if they get their act together. You know, I'll get them back in that conversation. But like,
there you go.
You know, like, but no, like, in like everything we've seen, you know, recently over the last, like, let's say like year, pretty much, because it's been a year and a half, because it's been a good time for fighting games the last year and a half. Anytime we would see something, it's, you know, we're seeing like I guess you could say like a polished version of it, right? Like you mentioned earlier, like, you know, we're seeing the effects, we're seeing the details, we're seeing the extra stuff where like you know, for this one, we're just kind of seeing, okay, we're seeing the speed, we're seeing how the moves look, but it just looks kind of drab or bland. So and you know, I hope that I'm correct here, that they just showed us kind of like, it's kind of early what they showed us, you know, or if they hear this or get the feedback, they might be like, oh, that's the early version, guys. We just didn't put the effects in yet. You know,
we haven't put the right contrast in. Don't worry. Remember when KOF was it was 14, right? Yeah, it was 14.
Yeah.
Fucking the first, I want to say first year or so,
maybe
how the rendering or year and a half or something, the rendering on that game, people actually cracked on that game and going like, yo, it literally looks like PS2 game. They gave it a new rendering engine, not rendering engine, but a new lighting scheme to it. And it looked way better. Yep. I mean, it couldn't save the game, but it looked way, way, way better. I feel like a part of it is that here too, is like, I just need a good coat of paint. I'm just seeing the primer. We're just seeing the primer. We don't see the glossy. We're not seeing the sparkles yet. But the primer, you know, if it's the body's good, then the body's good.
I also feel like the level didn't help. The level didn't help because the first time we saw it, it had almost like an Evo stage level. You know what I'm saying? Like a tournament style level, and it looked pretty good. Like, we didn't even get that. This is very much end of anime level. Like, we're kind of looking at like the last episode that disappoints you with the ending. Like, that's the type of, that's what we're kind of looking at here. So that also didn't really help it. But like I said, it's the details for now. So I am curious to see if they do anything else with it, like what else they decide to show. Evo's coming up, so they probably didn't want to show their best stuff.
Bingo.
You know? Yeah. Bingo. So yeah, we'll see.
And that's actually, funny enough, our next stop that we're going to be talking about is actually Marvel at Evo. So we actually just got a tweet. I think it was early today, or it might have been yesterday.
Today.
Oh, it's today? Okay, so the announcement is that Marvel, the collections, the Capcom Arcade Classic collections, the Marvel vs. Capcom one, will be at Evo. So you actually will get a chance to play the games there, or at least I think it's 3 different ones. You get Marvel 1, Marvel 2, and I think something else, because it was like 3 specific
to play there?
ones.
X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel 2, and I think, I don't remember what it was. I know there's a tweet there.
The tweet is there. I just can't seem to find it. Thought I linked it somewhere in here. Yeah. So while Gabe, you look at it. Regardless, so yeah, that's happening, which is dope, and it just has me think. I mean, between that, Deadpool in a recent comic issue actually referencing Marvel 4, Or was it? Yeah, it was Deadpool.
Marvel 4 in Marvel 3, so I don't know.
She-Hulk referenced Marvel 4 in Marvel 3.
She did? Oh. Okay.
Yes, it was She-Hulk that did that because she was like, one of her win quotes is like, if you're ever in Marvel 4, I'll kick your butt there too. But Deadpool recently.
So Coda, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel 2.
There we go. So those will be playable. But between that being there at EVO, which I mean makes sense, they just made the announcement. What better crowd than to market it to? The game's already selling very well, and it's not even out. And you know, it being EVO, I'm like, you know what, man? Tinfoil hat back on. I'm telling you, it'd be a great, and with Wolverine and Deadpool, right? Deadpool 3 this month. Great time to announce Marvel 4.
Or at least a release date for this game. No.
That also would be nice. I mean, they said 2024, so it's like whatever. It could be quarter 3.
It could be now, or it could
4.
be as famous as DNF Duel and say December, and then it's December 31st. So
yeah, exactly.
No offense to Meza and any DNF.
I mean, fans, they weren't wrong. They didn't lie.
Yeah, they didn't lie. They said December 31st at 11:59 p.m.
That shit was dirty. But yo, I'm telling you, with that, it's awesome to have it at EVO, as well as these other games. Eunice is going to be at EVO. I'm going to assume Hunter x Hunter is going to be at EVO, showing that off. But Marvel being there, great. It's going to be a good old time. Sucks I won't be able to make it there.
I wonder.
But I say it's a good time to announce Marvel 4.
Remember the year they had? Were you there the year they had the big cab, the Marvel superheroes cab?
No, I missed it. I was so mad I missed that. I wanted to see the huge Marvel cab.
I wish I got to play on it, but those buttons were huge.
Huge. I saw pictures and I was like, damn, I'm jealous.
Yeah, so hopefully another huge area like that this year. I mean, I haven't been to the Las Vegas Convention Center since it was at EVO 2015. So I don't know what it's going to look like this year now with this new area. So, and I'm not working a booth this year, finally. So we're just going to be roaming around. We'll have more of that next week, by the way.
Of course, yeah, as we get ready to gear up for that good old EVO 2024. All right, but with that, we're going to be taking a quick break, guys. When we come back, we're going to be talking some EWC, some Esports World Cup, because that's already started, but we're going to break down the kind of wild schedule that I was trying to figure out. But yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Plenty of new characters for not new games, but for some upcoming games. But before we get going into some Esports World Cup, that we're going to talk about the schedule and some other topics there, we've got a question of the week and a poll to get into. So last week, got a chance to sit down with you guys and ask. This was a fun question. Was if there was any fighting game you could experience for the first time again. Basically, if it's a game you've played for years, you could experience it again as if it was your first time. What would it be? We wanted to hear from you guys. We got some awesome answers here. Let's shoot off with Dots Yobin stating Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's more of a recent pick, but those first few years were magical for everyone. Was on that game. It united the FGC, not like us, united the West Coast. It's pretty accurate. I'm not gonna lie, because that game in its early years was like, it didn't matter if you were from Street Fighter, it didn't matter if you're from Anime Fighter, it didn't matter if you were 3D. If you knew Dragon Ball, you were about that shit. You were yelling when Perfect Cell was getting picked or Bardock was on the screen, right? And everybody was yelling. I'm pretty sure I definitely have footage on my phone still from the first year of that EVO, and everyone in that arena screaming. But yeah, Dragon Ball FighterZ experiencing it for the first time, not a bad pick. K2L Nick, I don't really know. Oh, the answer was a little convoluted, but they said their first experience playing fighting games was at an arcade, so schooling older players than him. So they were stating that they would want to just experience that. So basically the arcade experience all over again, just sitting down, playing people, and apparently bodying them would be their pick, which I'm for as well. Gingerfilth, Soul Calibur 2, just like I did as a kid on the Walmart demo.
That would be my pick too, Soul Calibur 2.
Soul Calibur 2? I can't. It's like Walmart? Really?
No,
Walmart
not at Walmart.
then?
First of all, he got it. They played it. They were playing it at his Walmart. Because that was during the time where Walmart was very much clean video games only. That is odd.
Well, weirdly enough, I remember exactly which Walmart and exactly the weekend that I got that game. It was in September, and I got it from a Walmart in Penn's Landing. Huh?
Clearly, somebody from Walmart never saw Ivy play, but okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because
how do I remember?
No, like how was I can understand Walmart selling it, but displaying it and allowing you to like play it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because remember Walmart they banned GTA from their stores for a while.
Yeah, but GTA had a whole rap that went with it, right?
Right.
Like, I forget the fucking, what was that lawyer? I forgot the lawyer's name. They had that infamous case against it for like years.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, but they were very much like, oh no, clean CDs only, clean games only. You know, that's what I thought it was odd. But Soul Calibur 2, that's when we came up with the question. That's what I thought of, because I mean, it wasn't. I'm not gonna say it's the greatest fighting game in the world, but the experience of playing it is out of all the fighting games I've ever played, that's the one I remember the most. I got it on Xbox, so I had Spawn. You know, the story modes for the single player had the story modes for the individual fighters, and then on top of that, you had that additional like world quest mode, and you know you had to do all the crazy stuff. So I remember that was a good pick. That's the right answer, obviously.
Shout outs to my Spawn players. I really rarely got to see Spawn because I didn't have a lot of friends that had like an Xbox. Right, the Xbox was kind of like, it was the first Xbox. It was kind of like the underdog. But if you knew, you knew. So I definitely GameCube. Yep, there you go. Link, great fairy sword, best shit ever.
There you go.
Longest reaching weapon he could have.
Yeah, great fairy sword. Oh yeah.
The Duke of Doom states, Skullgirls. No character has instantly clicked like Beowulf for me.
Now,
that's a beautiful thing when it's like a character just like speaks to you. Oh yeah, you'd want to experience that again.
That's a weird one for me because I played the game when it was the first 8. So Beowulf wasn't out.
I also
wanted
played
to
it
play
when it was the first
Painwheel.
8.
I wanted to play Painwheel, and I was like, "This shit is hard." I'm like, let me go learn Cerebella. But no, I do remember the first times of that game. However, I do remember Chris G beating us all with the Infinites.
Yeah, the Infinites.
Parage, yeah.
Oh my goodness, yep.
Noms, yep.
Karnowski goes, season 1 of Strive was so much fun. So I was like, oh, okay. He just wants the chaos. He just the season 1 of Strive. Just want to look back a couple years, just get hit with that soul.
Yep. Nope.
Wait, my neutral. I don't know what to do. Yeah, all day. I mean, it still happens now, but it's was way more abused then. Way more abused.
The first time I ever saw X-Men vs Street Fighter at a local spot in the heart of near between my work. I was 10 or something. Between my
you have
house,
a full-time job at 10.
Yeah, right. Between my house and between my school. Well, the school is full-time. There was this place called Power Gamer, and we walk in there, and there's newly open. It's got Dragon Ball toys. I bought a Great Saiyaman as a kid there, and my brother was like, "That's Goku." I'm like, "What?" I mean, that's Gohan. I'm sorry. I'm like, "That's Gohan," but Gohan's not an older kid yet. And then I look to my right, and then there's an arcade, and I see Ryu just throw a Hadouken super huge. I'm like, this game is awesome. I'm gonna play this forever, and here we are. So yeah,
for me, it was definitely Children of the Atom.
Yeah,
I remember, I'd already played fighting games at this point, but Children of the Atom got me because it was the first time I got to see, just comic book characters, just play that way, in an arcade like that. I've already played the X-Men, beat 'em up and stuff like that, so it wasn't new. But to see Wolverine and Spider-Man, animated the way that they were, I was just like, what the fuck? It blew my mind. And then also the Infinity Stones, actually seeing the Infinity Stones, and I was just like, what? And yeah, that I would like to experience it, because I remember when that happened, and I remember the arcade, and it was just a big mind blown when I saw that. So I wouldn't mind experiencing Children of the Atom again.
Well, for me, Mortal Kombat, the history with me and Mortal Kombat, when I was a kid, it would scare me. So my first time with Mortal Kombat, I was scared of Scorpion's, mask and the skeletons and all that. I was scared of Goro's lair. And then when Mortal Kombat 4 came out, which by the way, where I saw Children of the Atom the first time, is Children of the Atom the one that had Silver Samurai in it as well? Like I remember Psylocke could do all 4 of herself on the screen. So I remember playing at this place called Spaghetti Warehouse up on Spring Garden in Philly. And so then it was a restaurant, of course, Italian restaurant, which is now Union Transfer. If you're from Philly, you know the concert area. But then on the bottom way, there's like a pirate statue that they used to have, and right next to it was Quan Chi on the side of the side panel of the arcade,
just looking at you.
Yes, and that was Kano actually. Is funny enough. But then I remember having like nightmares about the pit stage and like wondering if I push start, how is this guy going to get out of this? Like, I guess he never made it out because I got down to 0 and he's splat,
and
you know?
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. Yeah.
Anyway, but that's just, you know, I'd love to. Those are my first like experiences with games, and like that question came from just last week about like I wanted to play Resident Evils again, right? Just wanted to start those games again. Yeah. So starting fighting games over again, like I wonder what the next one's gonna be, because I even remember like my first time playing like Street Fighter 4 and how I remember the detail that the fireballs had going across the screen with like the dust particles on the floor, which was like mind-boggling to me. And now you see it and you're like, I don't care. But even then, even like the particles in Street Fighter EX3, when a fireball like clashes, there's like particles that go across the screen. Like stuff like that you don't see from only when way back. So I do like that conversation. So that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well, fighting games are great. I think that's what we can pull from all this, to take one from Tokido. Fighting games are great. That wasn't the only thing we asked you guys. We also had a poll that ran down. We actually did talk about ArcSys, Arc System Works and Strive, and the latest developer backyard, and kind of like the updates that are coming along, including one that's happening, a smaller one that's happening this July, and then one later on. It had a bunch of people up in arms about like the timelines and the communication Arc System Works has done with the game, because since Wild Assault has been out, especially in Season 3, it's like they've kind of been a little bit quiet, and then Season 4 gets announced, still been a little bit quiet, and it's like, you know, got us to ask, like, do you think that Arc System Works communication with the Strive updates, has it been enough for you? If you're playing Strive, or at least been watching the community, or been like just checking out the game, has the communication that they've been putting out there been enough? I thought it was, it's close. I thought it was actually gonna be the other way, but we got a 58% for yes. Think it's enough. I'm getting enough information. I'm getting enough of a timeline. Seems like, you know, you guys in the community have kind of stated that, but you know, it's still very close. So there's still almost like half saying like, no, you know, I don't think so. Because we're hearing from pros that are winning tournaments for this game, have been very vocal about it, going like they're disappointed as to how the communication has been. But you know, it's like I said, it's a little bit more, you know, at least for us here, you awesome listeners, it's a little bit more on the we're satisfied side. But I think a part of it is attributed to, I think they are working on some really great stuff, including the 3v3 mode, right? It's gonna take a lot of time, and they're basically don't have anything to show at this point. But hey, Evo's around the corner. It's that time. If you're gonna show up and show out, this is the time of the year to do it. So you know, we'll just give ArcSys not the pass, but I say give them the benefit. I mean, they are, as Gabe stated, the oldest game in these competitive lineups nowadays. Remember that. So they can afford it. Yeah, I know.
Wild.
It is wild.
And it's on PS5 and /4. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So with that, we've got one more topic to jump into. Talking about competition. Actually, not even this week. Last week, Esports World Cup has started up. It's gonna be it's 8 weeks. For those that aren't aware, I was checking up on the schedule because I was like, we should be hearing something, right? About like, you know, when things are starting and all. Come to find out, I wasn't even sure about the schedule until I looked on their site. And there's only 2 fighting games, you know, that are in there. I mean, there's a whole slew of other games going on, but 2 specific fighting games that I've actually made the cut into it, and that is, of course, Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8.
What, not Rocket League? No, I know, it's not a fighting game.
Yeah, right?
It's in there, though.
You sure? It should be.
No.
So we've got those 2 games. We've had a bunch of qualifiers already. Off the rip though, just want to make it clear, we don't start seeing any kind of actual like fighting games until like week 6. That's not until August. which makes sense because Evo right around the corner. Kind of don't want to step on that. Don't want to make it a big divide because even though there are qualified players already for both, there are still some remaining spots. So basically, the way this tournament goes, just a quick TLDR on the format, it's 32 players. There's going to be 8 groups of 4. And we already got a bunch of players that are qualified. We've gotten the top 6 from Evo Japan, top 8 from DreamHack Dallas, top 8 from DreamHack Summer. The Battle Arena from Melbourne had a top 2. And then CEO that just passed, we had the top 2 as well, which came in the form of Nephew and DCQ.
Yes.
Technically, Punk had that one, but he had already qualified from DreamHack Summer. The remaining spots, which are 6 now, because we've got 28. Did I do that right? Hold on, 6? No, we have 26 now because of 32. Math. I can do frames, I just can't do regular math. We've got the mix-up. You got the top 2 from the mix-up that's happening, and then we've got the Riyadh Festival, which this is where the event is happening at. There's an LCQ that is happening there. Top 4 is going to be coming out of there, and this is for Street Fighter and as well as for Tekken. Tekken actually does have one other event in between the mix-up and the Riyadh Festival, so the festival LCQ is only going to have top 2 to qualify, while as the supposed event in between, which right now has yet to be listed, won't be until until it's identified. To be honest, we actually can look up the official site. There actually is no information yet on it, so we're waiting to hear.
So let me see: DreamHack Dallas, DreamHack Summer, BAM Australia, CEO, Evo Japan, ATL Korea, Mix Up FGC. There was one more, or no?
For Tekken.
Yeah. Those are the Tekken dates, or I'm sorry, events. Oh, and the date starts 8/21 and ends 8/24. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we're missing just that. But anyway, biggest prize pools, right? $1 million going up. You can go first place $300K, all the way down to 25th to 32nd is $5,000, right? Which is the equivalent games, right? That's for both games. Equivalent to some majors, first place majors for that, just 25th to 32nd, so just qualifying. And we kind of already talked a little bit on the hubbub about like players and teams and how we've just seen a bunch of these new teams kind of come out and pick up players and all that. But as the event gets closer, it's kind of been now the reality of certain things are kind of showing up a bit more in Twitter discourse and as well as like Reddit and such, just around the community in general, because there are players that are going to be going out for things like the LCQ out there. And clearly it's, there's just some, I don't want to say there's problems, but there are some things to talk about because of it. So there was an interesting Reddit post from Vertigo 21125 over on Fighters earlier today. Because I already seen some tweets about this on Twitter with like players like Sonic Fox kind of chiming in with other people on Twitter about like, hey, the event being out in the Middle East, and obviously things like how they feel about the LGBTQ community and all that. Like, it has some people, a bit on edge, right? If you're going out to it, just to hold the event in general, right? Because it's a sports washing of esports, like, because they're just adding games and there's like a lot of money in it, right? People are going out. That's why these teams are out there, these orgs and brands are out there to get the bag. Which, hey, if you're doing it, cool, right? I don't see a problem with it. It's just fact of the matter is that there needs to be cash flow going through all this, right? But then comes the other side of it, which is like the discussions of safety and going out there and the overall consensus on the event and supporting it, like by going out or by watching, right? Because their stance on the LGBTQ community as well as the fighting game community being very what are we known for? Just being not overly, but like we're accepting of all, right? There's no judgment here. There's some incredible players that are trans, gay, furry, right? Sonic Fox can't, he says it all the time. So I was like, cool. Like, don't think twice about it. It's like, hey, he's just an incredible Dragon Ball player. He's an incredible fighting game player in general, right? NRS is his bread and butter. You got like Umisho, Evo champ, right? For Guilty Gear. You got plenty of players out there that are in these communities, and it's like, that's cool.
Right.
Doesn't FGC, nothing else that really comes up. That's FGC, right? Exactly.
Right. It's been part of what is the FGC, dare I say,
the C part in community.
Community.
But the other reason why a lot of this talks have been going on is because there's like inklings, there's rumors, speculation that supposedly the third Evo event may be happening out there, which not outside the realm of possibility. Remember, they did announce, or rather they did tease another Evo, because we only have 2 right now. We have obviously regular Evo, which is in Vegas. We have Evo Japan, which the keen of you will know it's in Japan. I had my money on EU. I thought Evo EU was going to be the logical next one, but if we're talking money and, you know, maybe this is like the, you know, Gamers 8 was technically the first kind of dip into it, right? Gamers 8 evolved into what EWC is. Is this supposed to be maybe the trial run and then maybe do it with another brand that agrees or is notable enough to kind of have that trust to kind of get people in, kind of like how you were kind of stating earlier, John, to kind of have a kind of be the charge or the brand to charge that part of the entertainment of that aspect over? Maybe.
I mean, it's a possibility, but like from Evo's perspective, it just doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't make sense because Evo is still a community event. Evo is essentially a convention for most people. For most people, Evo is a convention. You know,
true that.
It's a community event. It's a convention. Even Evo Japan, but like we say, anything that happens in Saudi, that's not like a community event. It's not a convention. They don't have the player base to make that work as a community event. That's why I don't think that it's likely.
But I just safe travels to anyone that's making their way out there. That's, you know, that's really anywhere. Doesn't have to be Saudi. It's just anywhere. Just safe travels.
Yeah.
Don't want no problems anywhere. Yeah. Especially safe travel. I think Vegas could be even more dangerous in many regards. But with that, we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what your thoughts are on EWC. If you're going to be watching, going to be checking it out. But that is going to be it for this week's episode of Double Tap. We do appreciate y'all hanging out with us, going through all these awesome topics and having these discussions. We really do appreciate it. Hey, just a quick note though, we are taking submissions for community segments, questions or topics that you want to talk about here on the show. Make sure to hit us up on all social media as well. You can email us at doubletap@mash.gg. We can get things coordinated so we can actually bring you on the show and have these discussions. We love to do it. We love, you know, getting the community involved. We do appreciate everyone, because we do get these questions of the weeks. We'd like to get you guys involved, so this is just another way for you guys to jump in on that. You guys can, of course, check out my awesome hosts that sit down with me, and not just like with me, like I'm the only one fucking doing it, but like sit down and actually do the show. Check out Static Gorilla at Static Gorilla on all social media platforms, as well as on Twitch, which I'm assuming you're continuing TNS runs right now.
Yes, on Fridays.
Yet again, you have another clip of you timing yourself out and then them calling you out on it. It's like every week, Tong has something to say about you when your matches show up on stream. I don't know what's up with that.
It's all right. It's my fault for trying Dormammu. But yes, we're gonna be trying Dormammu yet again this Friday, and follow along because it's gonna be one hell of a run, and maybe we'll get on stream again. Who knows? But he said because I was doing well, he was like, "Damn, watch, he's gonna win Evo for some stupid reason." Because I said he sucked. And then he's like, "No, he doesn't. Never mind. He just found out the time ran out." It's a pretty funny clip. Go ahead and watch the TNS pools from this weekend to watch me lose from a 3-0, from being up to
Spoilers. Make sure to follow Ja at Jostradamus, of course, on Twitter, of course, as well. Also on Blue Sky. I think I'm 2 for 2 this time. 3, maybe. It's a high record right now.
Well, I'm definitely. I don't even have Twitter installed at this point. I have Blue Sky installed at least.
All right, Blue Sky. Then hit them up there. Make sure to check out. You guys can check me out at CrashTagVS, of course, on Twitter. I still have that shit installed. But also check out the show at Double Tap FGC, not only on Twitter, but of course on YouTube. We post up shorts, we post up a full video version of this podcast as well. Go check it out. Comments, we do post up on community posts as well. Make sure to go follow, make sure to go subscribe. We do appreciate it. And make sure to join us, of course, on our Discord, mash.gg/Discord. Get involved on the community question, the question of the week, where we're going to be posting up. which this week, of course, was, are you excited for the Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact, as well as polls and such. Go talk to our awesome community out there. We got modders, we've got players, we got OGs, we got some new players as well. We got new people that are jumping into the Discord as well. We appreciate y'all joining us. But make sure, once again, get involved. Mash.gg/Discord. Come say what's up. That's going to be it for this week, guys. We're gonna have another episode next week as we get closer and closer to Evo. Things are gonna be ramping up. We can't wait. We're super excited. But stay tuned after the show to hear about other shows here on the Mash Those Buttons Network. We'll have another episode once again next week for you guys. But until then, be safe, safe travels, all that good stuff. We'll catch y'all next week. Peace.